I'm not telling you to stop. What were you shopping for?
I was looking at jewelry. Because that's what I need in my life.
More jewelry.
Yeah, Lord Jesus. Well, the child has got his own. Huh?
Oh, well. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy June 1st. We're already halfway through the year, and it feels like it's been a decade already.
I'm saying.
It's the longest 6 months that turned out to be like 20 years of my life.
I had one birthday. It feels like 80. It's like, Lord have mercy.
I showed this in Sacred Sounds of Coffee. I have to show it again. My birthday present from Johnie. It's a water drum, and it has beautiful embroidered ribbon around the edge and hand painted on both sides with sound holes on this side.
I can hear it now.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah. A little bit.
If you do it slow, it sounds like a babbling brook. If you do it faster, it sounds like an ocean wave crashing.
Now we can't hear it.
Something's up with my microphone.
Because I heard it just fine this morning. And now all of a sudden.
Just tell me if you get to where you can't hear me. I'm loving it. It's so beautifully made. Pretty to look at and to play with.
I almost want one, but I know what happens in these situations. I'll play for it with 2 minutes when it gets here, and then I won't ever pick it up again.
That's because you're an old soul. You get bored with things.
I do.
Everything feels familiar. You've had one in a past lifetime.
Probably. I bet.
When you were an Egyptian guard with your spear.
You would think then I wouldn't get bored easily, a person who just stands there literally all day. But I'm okay with standing all day in one spot because I used to do it when I went to church. And I was telling somebody else this too, that I didn't even realize I was doing that. When church start, I would get up and go stand by the back door and just stand there like a guard. I'd stand there the whole time. And then church was over and I'd go on about my business. I'm fine with that.
Staring out windows indefinitely.
I could do that for hours too.
You hear this one?
Is she whining? That I hear. Braxy!
What? What's the matter? What's the matter?
I need a treat.
I have a lot to say. Yeah.
Need a treat.
I took her to the Armstrong Gardens today, and she was being such a brat. But they put her picture up on the puppy wall, and you know she knows every time she goes there, she gets a bunch of treats. But the guy that gave her the handful of treats like this last time, he wasn't there, so she was kind of upset about that. She only got 2 cookies.
So it's a puppy wall that's good, not a puppy wall like watch out for this dog.
No. It's like from all the dogs that go to the store to the garden center. They have a whole wall of the pictures, and the girl, when I walked in, she's like, "Oh, we put Braxy's picture up," and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I went over there and checked it out, and yeah, but she was being bad today. She was being super bad. I don't know what got into her. Now she's over here whining, throwing a fit. Don't even know why, because you went all over the place today. I know.
I love my vet office. I have about 7 or 8 vets on staff in my vet office, and all around the waiting room are pictures of them with their pets, which is really sweet, I think.
Yeah, she's being a little monster today. I don't know what got into her. And then soon I'll have Cujo over here. So I apologize in advance if it happens to be on a Sunday, y'all, because while my sister-in-law's in the hospital, you know, giving birth. going into labor, whatever. To my little nephew.
Doggy sitting.
Or doggy sitting Cujo. That's not his name. That's what Johnny calls him, because that's a freaking straight up demon dog. But Braxy likes him, so.
Yeah, Johnny has pet Care Bears, as Sage said. They don't make a lot of noise.
Zero. Until they fall over. They're a little top heavy in this position.
She's just been complaining all day long. She's whining to go somewhere. I put her in the car. We go somewhere. She whines the whole way till we get there. Then she's freaking going nuts. And it's like, what happened to you? It's not like you didn't exercise. She exercised all day yesterday. So,
what were the cards I pulled on her about the phase she was going through?
I don't remember. I don't know if you wrote them down, but
I texted them to you. Let me see if I can back up in my text a while.
She's being a little brat. She's a teenager. I was showing Jenny I plucked some of my dahlias out of my garden because they're going nuts.
Oh, those are pretty.
Yeah. And then I saw more bulbs today that were 30% off, and I said, "Don't you freaking do it!" I was like, "No more."
Just get it. You're an earth mother. You're supposed to like plants. Plants. And
I got another air plant.
It just goes to show I'm not supposed to grow anything.
Oh, I'll fix that. I'm gonna fix.
How do you kill something that literally needs nothing? I still did it. It's like I picked it up and it just all went bloom. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I was good. I only got some seeds for my my little hydroponic garden that I have in my kitchen because, you know, with all the stuff going on with lettuce right now, E. coli outbreak. I think one person has passed away already, and a whole bunch of other people were like super sick in the hospital. I'm like, well, you can't trust anything right now because we have a conspiracy theorist, brainworm, crazy person running the place who said in the hearing, you shouldn't be taking medical advice from me. Well, no shit, you know, so.
And he's cut down on FDA food inspections and stuff. So I found it, Becca. I found it where you texted me that you noticed that Braxy was undergoing some significant changes in her behavior when you took her to the beach, like a switch flip. Mm-hmm. And I pulled cards on it. What's going on with Braxy's behavior? Book, lilies, rider, child, clover.
She's going through a growth spurt where she's maturing.
Is that maturing, Braxy whining?
Yeah. She's like, I'm a teenager. Tell me what to do.
Because now she understands the art of manipulation.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's got me wrapped around her little freaking paw.
Braxy's art of the deal.
So I went to the garden center today, and I got some. I've got some lettuce seeds because it's too hot right now over here to be planting lettuce because it'll burst. You know what bursting is, right? When they shoot that thing out the middle, and then the lettuce tastes really like bitter. So in my area, in my zone, you only grow lettuce fall through winter. You don't do it in the spring and summer because it'll burst. So I picked up seeds for my little hydroponic thing. And then I got spinach leaves, lettuce. What else did I get? I just got herbs that I can't really put in the garden right now. So yeah, it'll bolt. There you go. It'll bolt. So can't grow it right now. And I'm like, well, I sure as hell ain't buying it from the store with people dropping dead, you know, so I'll just grow my own, you know, so yeah. Oh, I got some cucumber seeds too. I got spinach.
Because cucumbers also are being recalled too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have my tomatoes growing, like they're starting to go crazy out there. So I'm going to have tomatoes coming out of my eyeballs pretty soon.
My little cherry tomatoes have some blooms on them already, and they're not that tall, but they've already got blooms on them. I'm like, wow.
Mine are producing like insane. We can't keep up. right now, and we only did 4 this year. We did 2 Romas and no, we did 5. 2 Romas, 2 cherries, and one of the big chocolate cherry tomatoes. And we've gotten a few off of those already, and those were good. My pepper plants are going nuts. So it's like what I can grow, I'm gonna grow it, because I don't trust shit coming out of this administration right now. I'm not trying to get sick or die. So that's what I did today, gardening and buying stuff from my
Hey, Lori.
Hi, Lori. So yeah.
Did everybody eat some tacos this weekend?
I was saying Taco Bell, dude, get on it. Bring in a chicken taco with a Cheeto shell, and you're gonna do fantastic.
That's not out of the realm of possibility, mind you. They have a partnership with Frito-Lay anyway with the Dorito taco shell, so you could do that.
They had so many Taco Bell memes going out there. The most common was him dressed up as Scarlett O'Hara.
Did you see? I was trying to send you guys a video. I don't know whose phone, it's not going through, but somebody did an AI of him. Did I save it? Of him dressed like a chicken. Dressed like a chicken, giving a speech about the tariffs behind the fucking podium. I was
yeah, there is video from Saturday Night Live from years ago where he did a skit on chicken.
Oh, is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I don't know if you saw it, Johnny, because it wasn't going through for both. But hold on, I'm gonna make you guys shrink for a minute. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you got to make yourself big.
You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I said down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax. And they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? I kick out?
Oh my God.
It's just how, like,
AI is doing way too much, because then
and that speech, Johnny, that speech was real. He really said that. Look,
they just AI'd him in a chicken suit.
that suit though. He went
because I reduced China from 145% that I said.
Oh my God.
And down to another number. And I said you have to open up your whole country because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff. And they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't to meet. I did what I did. They said, we'll meet anytime you want. And give it a date of July 9th. All that chickening out. I kick out.
He really said that though. All that.
Am I chickening out? He's so upset.
All that shit that came out of his mouth, that was for real. The only thing they did was just AI him in a chicken suit. I was like, oh my, oh my God. What an embarrassment. That's what we are now, the United States of embarrassment. This is yeah. I can't.
The taco POTUS.
So allegedly he's like losing his mind.
With sour cream on his head.
I was like, let's
it's the visual that I can't. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Taco dumbbell.
What does that one say?
Taco dumbbell. With the Taco Bell on his head, Taco dumbbell.
I can't. What does that one say?
Trump always chickens out in a chicken suit.
I need some oxygen.
Oh, there's the Scarlett O'Hara one.
Let me see.
Taco Bell.
Oh, now I see it. Oh my God.
What is going on in this world right now?
I'm telling you, I went off this timeline.
Crying with Putin.
He is the most laughed at person on the planet. And a close second is Elon Musk.
And the chicken with the comb over, of course.
And then there's a video floating around where he was talking.
Yeah. Taco man. I've got to be a taco man. There was a video of that AI'd also.
There was a video going around where he was giving an interview, and it looks like he literally had shit in his hair. Like, hold on.
He's got it in his brain, so why not?
You see that?
What do you call it? A cat lick? Is that
Missed the
that right there. That right there. People are like, "Is that shit?"
Oh my God!
I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I really wouldn't. I mean,
he's a shithead.
Oh my God!
Lord have mercy.
Here we are. I mean, we got to laugh, otherwise we would be crying, right?
There was a meme of Trump standing next to J.D. Vance, and it said, "Trump spews so much shit, he needed another asshole." They're so petty in the memes.
Oh my God! I'm telling you, I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell is going on. I haven't watched any news this week, just a little bit here and there, just, you know, but it's been crazy.
Saw the black guy that went round the world, and
it's been crazy at work, and you know, I just started binging a new series that I don't know what kind of crack cocaine is in there, but I haven't been able to stop, you know, so I've just been like, I don't want to pay attention to this stuff because I'm going to get so depressed. Or not really depressed. I'm going to get freaking raging pissed, you know, so.
It's going to bother your energy and bring you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go freaking nuts, like angry, you know, so yeah. But anyways, what you guys got going on?
Last week to schedule for my seminar in Portland, Oregon. If you want to learn healing energy, there's only 7 spots left. I work from the astral body back into the physical, so it's different from Reiki. There's a technique behind it and how you channel the energy, so anyone can do it. It's a small class, so I'm working with everybody. But it's a Wednesday night, all day Thursday, half a day Friday in Portland, Oregon, October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And would love to have you join us. Go to jinlintarot.com to register for the seminar. I also have some appointments open for readings. There might be some left in June, and then July is open. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Rhonda. What you got going on, Johnny?
Not a thing, but I would like to say I want to give you a government name, so I won't say, but I got this bag handmade.
Hold on. Let me make you bigger.
And I have a few other ones as well for my cards and things.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's very pretty in person too. And it's heavy duty, so you can put whatever in there. But I have quite a few cards that I have that I'm going to put in there. And I got a couple of other bags too. I put the website, because she has a website, there in the chat. But she sent this to me for my birthday, so I thank you very, very much. Also, Kathy D, as you see my little icon there, a while ago made this for me. This drawing of me when I was out about on my walks there in Pittsburgh. Well, somebody else who's probably in the chat too, Stephanie, I'll use your government name, made this for me. And you see how it sparkles? It's all little bitty beads.
It's beaded.
Yes.
It's bejeweled. Johnny's bejeweled.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Now, I'm wishy-washy, so don't take offense, okay? But right now, everything in this house can go to hell except for this. I just want to say it. I looked at this, I'm like, oh my God, that's gorgeous. And mind you, I'm not self-absorbed while I'm looking in my own face and thinking this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So
you're gonna have to hang it behind you so we get to look at it every time you're on it.
It goes right where a big ass head is. It goes right there. As I cleared space, Marie Laveau, Rosie, thank you. It goes right there. And so yes, I've been bejeweled. Exactly. Yes. It's gorgeous. So that's all I have to say.
That is so pretty. That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. Well, I mean, so was that. I don't know how to do none of this kind of thing. So I love handmade things. I love when people, because they poured their emotion and their love and their intention into it. And so you can't help but,
I do too. I look at things people make it and I'm like, how did they do that? It just takes a lot of patience.
She drew, the woman who drew this, Kathy D, drew this too. This is the Empress card in the Ciro Marchetti deck. And then she drew that too. So my niece drew all of these. So I can't do nothing. I appreciate all of it. Okay.
Love it.
Me too.
Love
let me put my room back together. So I'll be right back.
See, he has it as his circle picture.
Yeah.
We love that.
Little Johnny. Gotta love that kid. It's my little brother. I've adopted him. So, yeah, I got nothing else going on. Just over here, minding my business. Minding my business. So.
Okay, there it is. Front and center.
So, I might need to step out as soon as the kids start screaming, because as you can see, Peanut has locked himself away. So, he's not going to be feeding her, so she'll be losing her mind here in a little bit, and I got to go feed her. So, but anywho, is that all? Nothing else? Nothing else? Okay. So, I guess we should start with Alonia Muscatina. So, where do we even start with that train wreck?
Well, I just want to say, y'all in the chat, let me know what y'all thought. I'm sure you all saw the black eye photos. To me, it looked like he had bruising and bumps here, as well as down here. The corner of the eye was definitely black, but down here, it looked like he got punched several times, is what I thought, or he face planted.
So he was saying that it was his kid. However, there was a leak. And Steve Bannon, who I do not trust, but Steve Bannon hates Alonia, was saying that he got into a physical altercation with the Secretary of
Treasury, but is it
Treasury
or whatever his name is?
So he shoved him, and then something else happened. But
and that guy is an older guy, older than Musk. It's like, what are you doing shoving him? Like, you drug addict? What are you shoving an older man around for? But he got clocked.
That's Besson or whatever. Which, you know what? All those people in the administration are nothing but a bunch of self-serving assholes. So if they want to go toe-to-toe and beat the shit out of each other, I'm here for it. I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to stop them at all. Have at it. Have at it. So...
Well, he supposedly had words with that guy before too, so they have never gotten along. There's been some talk about Susie Wiles wanted Elon out. That she's the chief of staff or whatever. She's been quietly, like, you never see her doing interviews. But she's pissed off at Peach Headsets for all the leaks, and the chat where he invited people in and stuff, but also Musk. So
As if we're supposed to believe that a 3 or a 4-year-old gave him a black eye.
Yeah, little X. While he's
And what
picking
kind
his
of
nose, he hit him.
And what kind of parenting are you doing where you're encouraging your child to hit you?
Yeah, because he said, I told him to go ahead and hit me.
I don't know how that lady has lost parental rights to her kid when it is documented that the guy is a drug addict. I don't care how much money you have. The courts should be there and a judge should be there to say, you're a drug addict, you're a drug addict, you're a drug addict, and the welfare of your child is in danger being around a drug addict. So no parental rights, not even with supervised visitation. Zero.
But I think she lives at his compound in Texas, doesn't she?
I don't know. But I mean, I just don't understand what kind of effed up world this is when you have people like that, and the courts are like, yeah, no, but the mom can't take care of him. So you're going to give him to a drug addict? But anyway, so there's that going on with Elon. Thank you, SW. There's the situation of his drug use is being talked about more. Apparently he's been pissing himself because he's so high. I guess Donald Trump officially kicked him out, so I mean, it's a whole slew of, it's a bad Springer show. Oh,
and taking Stephen Miller's wife with him, that whole thing. So Elon's had a busy week.
I took Stephen Miller's wife, and Johnny and I were talking about it, and I'm like, how bad do you have to be to have Elon Musk look better than Stephen Miller?
Anything, in my opinion, anything's a step up from Stephen Miller.
I mean, she is the type of person who had a whole baby with Stephen Miller. So, I mean, her compass is a little broke.
2 or 3. She said.
But when you look at him and then you look at Elon, they're completely different people. Like, what is going on between left ear and right ear with that lady?
And neither one of them attractive, in my humble opinion.
And mine too.
It looks like you're
trying to choose between Freddie and Jason. Like, no, thank you.
They're both doing Nazi salute.
He has a sense of humor. he cracks up before he chops.
And you only have to see him when you sleep. The other one, he's always around.
Always lurking in a closet.
I mean, so there's that whole mess. So I guess we should start with, did Bassett put those bruises on his face?
Oh, and thank you also. I got a tarot deck too. I had too much.
Yeah, the Housewives of DC. This is, I mean, it is just, I was just talking about this with Peanut the other day. I said, dude, we have an entire government that is ran by conspiracy theorists, drug addicts, criminals, and just morons.
And Nazis.
Racist
Nazis. That's
wannabe.
Mm-hmm.
Trump
is this guy in the government?
Yes, yeah, Secretary of Treasury, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's some guy, fire sign. 5 of Swords, he does have an aggression issue. So it's not just that Elon ticked him off. I think he's already kind of on edge in the first place with that type of thing. But yeah, I think so. Some man. But he's in the government.
Drug addicts, conspiracy theorists, drunks. We're talking about people that couldn't hold a job down at fucking McDonald's running the government. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. What'd you get, Jenny?
I'm getting there's an older man there, and this is Musk being all smug and everything, trying to do this, but Sorry, I was trying to Google a picture of Stephen Bissett. Yeah, he's older, gray-haired. Okay, back to StreamYard. There's definitely some swings going on here. It's like justice for America. So somebody doesn't like what Musk has been doing with Doge and everything. This has been building up for a long time, wanting him out and shining a light on what he's doing. I get in secret. He looking at the options for all the data and material and things that Musk has gotten, what's going on with that. And we know a lot of that's going to Palantir.
Oh yeah, that's on the questions too.
Yeah, I mean, victory and standing on higher moral ground. So defending himself, defending his views.
I get it was a man that has to do with bombs, rockets, missiles, bombs. So whoever that is, I get no money cards here. Man, bombs, rockets, missiles.
Would that be Elon?
No.
Rockets.
Bombs. Do you see what I'm saying? Long-range missiles, bombs. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not a guy in finance. I asked, did he punch him? Did Bissett punch him? I'm getting it was this guy. This guy that he's involved.
So Whiskey took to the.
This person is involved with rockets, missiles, bombs, long-range missiles, stuff abroad that is widespread and escalating. Does that make sense? So
sounds like somebody in defense.
I don't know if it's Pete Hegseth. What is the Nazi doing?
He's like a deputy chief of staff and advisor.
No, this is a person that has to do with defense and rockets, missiles, bombs.
Bearing in mind, too, that we may just not know who this person is yet. Because I didn't get a court card. I got Hierophant, which means that person's... Well, I got the Knight of Wands, but this is more of an action thing. So this is the aggression the person would put forth. There's the government and there's the bully. So who, as it is with these cards, there's no name at the bottom. But there is a person. I don't think it was him and I don't think it was the kid. Otherwise, I'd have got a kid card. But
with somebody else. It wasn't the old guy. At least that's what I'm getting. I'm not reading for you guys. I'm getting it wasn't the old guy. Somebody else. Which, I mean, it's not hard, dude. Everybody hates him. Everybody hates Elon Musk.
Damn near literally.
Everybody hates Elon Musk. You roll in there, you bought a country $150 million, and you go in there as a private citizen and start doing whatever the freak you want.
I mean,
you hear what's going on in Texas?
What's that?
You hear what's going on in Texas now? Because his city, Starbase, is an actual city now in Texas. And he's having a lot of it rezoned to where if you live within that zone and it's not marked for residential, you have to move. You now lose your property or lose access to your property is what they're calling it. And you got to leave because they have now rezoned it right from underneath you.
So who's going to pay you for your properties and all that stuff?
It's like your stuff has been seized by Elon and Apple, basically.
Yeah. So who's going to pay off your mortgage? Is Elon going to pay it off, or are you going to have to pay off a mortgage for property you can't live on because it's been rezoned and Elon Musk just came and snatched your house, basically?
I could see Whiskey Hegseth getting in an altercation with a drug addict too. That would just be hysterical.
Yeah. I don't know. So the reports on Elon Musk that, which Johnie got that on his Tableau. I got it on my Grand Tableau. You can go back and watch the video. It's titled Elon GT. I got that he was on a cocktail of stuff. It was more than one, uppers, down, and he does it routinely. It's routine.
Adderall, all kinds of stuff.
Well, a report finally came out. Well, even before this report came out, months ago, even before the election, Rachel Maddow did a show, and she was talking about all the drugs that Elon Musk has admitted to doing way before Trump won office. And I'm going, how the hell does this guy have top security clearance, SCI clearance, all sorts of clearances that are like super special, need to know as a private citizen, and he's out there doing every drug under the sun, and nobody has thought to pull his clearance? How is that?
SpaceX has a drug policy which he does not adhere to.
It doesn't matter about SpaceX. The fact that he has a government contract, many government contracts, you can't even get a secret. Those
people have security clearance too, and they're passing it, and he's not even made to take the test.
No, and that's the thing. Like, he had to go through the same background checks, because remember, Trump wasn't in office when all this stuff was happening, maybe during his first term or whatever, but he was granted those clearances way before then, back in Obama's back in Obama's day, you know, and he's publicly admitted it in interviews and podcasts and everything. And I'm sitting there going, if I even so much as got a parking ticket, they would yank my clearance so fast. And this guy's talking about doing mushrooms and ketamine and ecstasy and marijuana and all this other stuff. And here you go. Here's all this SCI information. Go ahead, do with it what you will. Like, how does that happen? You know, but now they're reporting that he's on what, over 20 different drugs, and he takes a little medicine thing with him.
Yeah. Every day he does ecstasy, Adderall,
mushrooms. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you fucking function? How do you function?
He doesn't. I mean, even in that press conference, standing next to the Resolute desk, he's like, you know, jerking around and staring at the ceiling and doing all his crazy head movements.
It's becoming now just like Donald Trump. You see the behavior. You won't say nothing because of who they are, and then you have to pretend like it's a normal thing.
Meanwhile,
and he's clutching his hands here like he's trying to keep them still, you know, because like when he did that, remember that robotic walk he did that time?
Yeah,
I think if he allowed his hands to gesture, he'd be out of control.
And here's the thing. Like, fuck all that stuff of who they are. We're talking about our national security at this point. And then they went and fired a bunch of people in intelligence just recently. I'm like, we're basically sitting ducks right now. Mm-hmm. Is that part of the plan? And I've told Stephanie this. I was like, mark my words. I don't mean to be an alarmist, but with all this shit going on, and I've been in defense since '98, I'm like, at this point, you're just setting it up to leaving us vulnerable, just so that you have an excuse that, oh, we didn't know that was going to happen. Of course not, because you fucking fired everybody, you know? But now they're reporting that he's so high on drugs that he's pissing himself. Like,
so another one in diapers. Not that anything's wrong with that. If you have incontinence issues, under normal circumstances, you're not doing 20 different drugs a day, hopefully.
And not just drugs, recreational drugs, Jen.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff he needs prescriptions for. You need prescriptions for Adderall, and you need prescriptions for ketamine. I'm telling you, this guy's going to end up the same way that Matthew Perry did.
Well, they had the whole pharmacy thing the last time Trump was in office. Oh, yeah, so, you know, I guarantee you he's got prescriptions for all kinds of
drugs. And what do you need any of that for? At all? Do you have some sort of anxiety you cannot cure? Do you have some sort of depression you need help with? Is there a trauma that you need help with? Like, you can do your psilocybin if you have maybe some of those type of things, but you have to use that in combination with supervision. You can't just go and sit in your bathroom and just start popping stuff. Well,
yeah. I'm so intelligent that I can't even think that I'm killing myself by taking all these drugs.
And that's what I'm saying, prolific films. How the hell can a judge sit there and watch this guy and not say that child is not safe around this adult, period. He's a danger to himself at this point, you know, like.
Not to mention, if you are on record saying that you encourage your child to punch you in the face, you don't need kids.
Do you encourage your child to take ketamine and stuff? God knows what he's given them.
I'm sure that when he's not on camera and using that child as body armor, let's call it what it is.
That too.
Okay. I'm sure he's got a slew of nannies because he doesn't want to waste his time with that little kid. He's got too many drugs to do and too many video games to play than to be a father. He's a deadbeat dad to all 800,000 children that he already has, you know. But anyways, so there's all that stuff coming out about Ron Muscatina. And I guess he did an interview saying that he's completely out of politics. And I'm going, and I'm the tooth fairy. Mm-hmm. He just realized how bad it is when you're public. He could have been smart like Peter Thiel and just stayed in the background in the fucking closet and done all your horrible shit. But because he's such a narcissist, he has to be out in the spotlight. Now we know who you are and everybody's boycotting all your freaking businesses. But can we look at Elon? Like, everybody said it. Jenny has said it. Johnie has said it. I have said it. Lori has said it. Everybody has said it because we're not stupid and we have two eyeballs. You don't need cards. When you get two malignant narcissists, they cannot coexist together at all, period. Trump wants the spotlight. Elon wants the spotlight. Elon, we all know because we ain't dumb, helped Donald Trump steal the election. Okay? How was it that every poll was wrong except the one on for Bitcoin or whatever the hell it was? And Elon knew the results hours before it was called, on top of everything else that was happening. So is he going to spill the beans? Because you know he's going to feel like he got.
Is he going to turncoat? Because yeah.
Is he going to spill the beans on? Oh, by the way, you're only there because I stole the election for you.
Because contracts aside, like the money, I don't think he cares about like he cares, but he doesn't care. He doesn't need the money, you know. But his ego taking a bruising, literally and figuratively, I wouldn't trust him to not leak out stuff. I'm going to spill the beans about the election. You know, all the information that he's been giving Peter Thiel and Palantir that they're sharing between Musk and him, it's scary.
I personally think that's the problem. Is none of this stuff is kept in a tight enough circle. You have to have people involved that have something to lose, each one of you. And not just something to lose, but something to lose equally. And if I am a Ralph Nauta, whatever his name was, and all I am is the pool boy, I don't have as much to lose as a person who's running for the president of the United States. And so
nobody even thinks about the pool boy anymore. You know, he's old news.
There's the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Will he give information? I don't think he has to necessarily, because the evidence is here. The Seven of Pentacles is something you grow, you invest. The Ace of Pentacles is something you invest. But this shows the signs of what that investment was. And so there's evidence there to be seen. The Three of Swords is a card of betrayal. This does not come from thy enemies. People you know, love, and trust. These are the people who helped you. And so these are the people you think that are on your side. The Strength card means that they are more than likely being persuaded, because you cannot force the lion to do anything. You have to persuade. And so you have to persuade this person to come to your side. There's the government, there's defending. The Three of Pentacles is in the word of warning. It's the people you are with. Somebody is a weak link somewhere. Who? I don't know. But there will be a battle and a fight and arguments over it and that type of thing, because I don't think any of them know how to keep their mouth shut. They told way too many people. And I think they told way too many people a Knight of Swords because they were proud. Look what we did. Hey, can you imagine? I just did this, that, and the other. And then next thing you know, that person tells that person, who tells the hairdresser, who tells the rat that killed the mouse that lived in the house, the Jack Bill type of thing. So there's way too many people who have this information. It won't just be him. It'll be some of everybody.
That's it exactly. That's what I'm getting, because it's all about manipulation. Who's going to manipulate who first? Right now, he's hanging on to that information, but there's so much chaos. There's betrayal at the root of this. He's feeling betrayed already. Here's Musk. And this very easily could shift into all the secrets he's got on Trump and the government. It's almost like pick your shot. He knows more than just the election. So he's very dissatisfied. He's feeling stuck. The bully in him is coming out. But I think somebody that's been with Elon for quite a while is going to whistleblow. This is a whistleblower card for me. So I'm with Johnie. I think he can't keep his mouth shut. Trump can't keep his mouth shut. Somebody that's been around Elon a long time, probably one of those Doge kids or something. When they get judgment cast on them, they're going to get anxious and spill it all.
And he will, as soon as his ego is, because that's one thing you can guarantee about Trump. Once you are no longer of use to him, in the trash can you go. And
once his ego is bruised, Taco, that destroyed him last week.
And here's the thing. They both can't stand having their egos bruised. But even though Elon Musk is allegedly the richest man in the world, I don't think so anymore after he's shitting money out of his ears right now because of how badly his companies are doing. Trump has the entire Justice Department and the federal government behind him. He has shown that he does not have a qualm about weaponizing any of that against you. So I get, yes, there's a loss. Access to power, access to a box that gives you access to power. Remember, cyber ninjas all over the United States, especially all the swing states, got into every single voting machine, not just Dominion and what's the other one?
Smartmatic and
EOS. And Elon Musk had access to the voter rolls, everything. So he's gonna, and it's gonna be in an attempt to stay in power, or to bully back, or to regain control, because this is a card of control of a situation. But
bearing in mind, out of his own chicken lips, Donald Trump said, "If we didn't rig the election, I wouldn't be here." He said that out loud. We don't have to guess.
I don't need your vote.
And on his victory rally on the night before, thanks to Elon who knows those vote counting computers so well. Those vote counting computers, he said it 3 times, those vote
He's already thrown Elon under the bus for it. So if it comes out, it's Elon. It's on Elon. I didn't touch those.
He said it 3 times, those vote counting computers. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Elon knowing those vote counting computers so well. Those vote counting computers. That was January 19th at his victory rally, the day before his inauguration. He has told you since freaking 2021, when they started getting into the voting machines, what he was going to do. And here we are.
But still harks about how the election was stolen in 2020, so that hopefully we'll be quiet about it. But they did.
And it worked. With leadership, it worked. Even though we sat here and we watched 30-something bomb threats in one jurisdiction alone, not counting all the other jurisdictions in all 7 swing states. Just 36 bomb threats. A shit ton of voters getting purged for no reason. The election, more voters than 2020, but it was called that day. Make it make sense. It's just, I feel like I'm a crazy person, but it's like, I know what I saw. I know what he said. I have the tapes. I have the videos. You can't gaslight me. You know what I mean? So, you know, so anyways, so on keeping on with Elon is Elon Musk. Did he steal Stephen Miller's wife?
Because Miller seems to be losing it since she left the White House with Musk.
I saw all this stuff that he's been talking shit about Elon Musk on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God. Put that on pay-per-view on WWE, man.
I don't think he's going to have sex with her, but I don't think he's going to have sex with her, but he might do in vitro.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. They apparently have a throuple.
That's what I'm like.
All three of them.
Johnny, you always got that Stephen liked to watch.
He does.
But here's the thing. How is Stephen watching when if Elon Musk is wetting his pants and he's on 30 different types of drugs? How is he even getting it up?
Maybe they're into that type of thing. I don't know, floppy noodle syndrome.
I don't even find her when he can't even focus his head.
Here's the thing, and I recorded a video about this already, but here's the thing. When you are in a throuple, and I ain't judging you because if that's what you want to do, you go right ahead. But here's the problem that always occurs. All three of you have an agreement because apparently they had an agreement about this type of thing. One of y'all is going to catch feelings, and then it's just going to be two. And then next thing you know, Stephen and Elon at the IHOP, and then Katie over here by herself, or Katie and Elon is at the IHOP, and then Stephen is over here by himself. It's always going to be two of y'all that break off in these situations. Two of y'all going to catch feelings, and then one of y'all going to be like, why you didn't include me? And I think that's what's happening here too.
Or could be a little P. Diddy situation where I want you to have sex with all these people so I can film it and watch. But when you go and try to date somebody else,
No, sir, no.
Everybody in the chat, I know that there's Viagra. I know. But when you consider that he's on 20 different types of recreational drugs, is Viagra going to even work at that point? When he's taking uppers, downers, ziggers, zaggers, sideways, left, right, or like this guy is on so many drugs that would Viagra even work? It's just, and then there's a whole story about, it came out on the New York Times or the New York Post or something weeks ago, where one of the girls that had one of his kids, the one that went and sold his Tesla live as a publicity stunt, she was claiming that he has a botched penis enlargement freaking surgery, so his dick's already broke, you know. I can't. But please tell me more about the transgenders, Mr. Hair Plugs and botched dick surgery. Like
it's okay to have babies with all these different women, but please preach to me about women need to get married and have babies.
Yeah, not with that. Bless his heart. But wouldn't it make you want to stop doing drugs then?
Well, and Katie was working for Musk and Doge. So it was almost like,
I think she still is.
Yeah, so she was kind of put there, I think, to keep an eye on him. Like
now she's running away with him.
Now she's running away with him. Like they didn't trust him, so they put her in there to keep an eye on him.
Girl, she wasn't keeping an eye on him. Not in the way they thought she was.
There's a romance at the root of this. Something's happening fast with this too. She thinks she's, climbing the ladder to luxury. So, children be damned. Because she's got 3 kids with Miller. Can you imagine?
Oh.
Can you imagine having 3 kids with that man?
No.
That means she's had
sex
with him
at least on a park bench, let alone having a kid with him.
She's had sex with him at least 3 times. I can't.
Oh, that's just nasty.
Yes, she's in the White House. I'm getting a divorce coming here too, some bad news, and then she's going to be working with him, which is why she left. She's supposedly going to SpaceX. Either one of them.
I couldn't. No.
Talk about Rosemary's Baby, dude. Like,
I mean,
what came out of the fruit of his loins? Like,
but it's like Stephen Miller, though. Like, as the song says, you have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile. Why in the world would I want to have a baby with you?
You know, it's funny, like in all the jokes about they're trying to take us back to, 1789 or 18, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's like, we need to travel back to when these people were conceived and make sure their parents are using a condom.
Five of Swords, dishonorable behavior. It started as 3, and now it's just 2. And one of these people has some feelings that they feel as though they have been ousted. And there's the 10 of Wands coming from the woman here. So there's a burden that she now has. Maybe she has to decide which one, vice or virtue. Because there's the family unit there with the 10 of Cups. This is coming to an end, which means there's something there. It's different if people are just speculating, oh, this is just headline clickbait and all that. There's something there because it's coming to an end. And so there's some kind of relationship there. And this was the first card. Somebody feels some kind of way about it. And so they're now putting their foot down because, again, Katie and Elon over at IHOP and Stephen is in there trying to heat up instant noodles. And so there you go.
Elon and IHOP, I can't.
Thank you, Yahida. I get that she was not happy for a long time and she saw the opportunity. These two right here is sorrow. And there was an opportunity.
I bet she got some sorrow. I bet she got a lot of crap.
Like,
I mean, you laid down with the devil, so what you think was going to happen?
I mean, just listen, I'm not a beauty queen. I know that. So I don't mean to harp on people's looks, but how the fuck do you look at Stephen Miller and go, yep?
I mean, his eyes are dead. His forehead don't move. He looks
his
like
forehead's back here, Johnny. His forehead is
unless he paints it on.
He looks like an angry light bulb. It's like, what is wrong with you?
He's always angry and hateful.
Yes.
Look at that and say,
Full of hate.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to have kids with him. They'll be such loving children. He'll have them doing Heil Hitler's at 5.
I know. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, anyways,
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, I'm going to make a public service announcement real quick. Please don't ask me to read about children or what Trump's doing with that little girl with cancer. There's nothing that we can do. There's nothing these cards can do. Just like his first term when he was deporting children and putting kids in cages and everybody losing their goddamn minds. I am not going to put myself in that energy because there's nothing that we can do short of us going 007 and breaking these people out ourselves, which I don't know about you, but I don't have the resources to do that. So I just can't. And for my own mental health.
Mental health first. This is entertainment. We are not Barbara Walters reincarnate. This is for entertainment.
You know, so and it's
like need to try to lower the vibration and bring us down to it. It's not necessary.
It's heartbreaking. It's fucking infuriating is what it is to me. Because I'm one of those people that tend to get pissed off before I go down the list of other things. My first response is freaking livid rage, you know? But what is that going to do? This right here does not have the power to fix it, you know? So it's just a wasted effort to just keep harping on it over and over and over and over again. Short of everybody going over there and doing a freaking James Bond, I don't know what to tell you. So and I hate to say what I'm about to say, but it's almost like we're desensitized. Think of the most horrible thing that you can possibly think of, and then times it by 1,000,000, because that's this administration. Cruelty is the point, you know? And like I said, unless you're willing to do something about it, go and do it yourself and get other people to do it with you. There's no point coming on here every Sunday and reading about these terrible situations, because we can't fix it with cards, you know? So anyways, I don't know anything about what's going on with P. Diddy. I don't watch. I'm not.
RICO right now. RICO and sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is kind of the most prominent one. I think they have about 5 more weeks left in the trial or something of that nature. He rumored, and then Donald Trump confirmed, that they were going to try to reach out for a pardon, because everybody that has ever known Diddy right now is coming out and testifying. All of the very odd, strange details that you can imagine are coming out. The obsession with the baby oil. They even had to bring out the fact that he likes applesauce on his hamburgers, and he puts it on pretty much everything, because apparently that was a thing too. He told his secretary, hey, come with me, or it was an assistant of some sort. Hey, come with me. We're about to go kill someone. And they both, kill someone. They got in a car, and this was supposed to be Kid Cudi, which was another rapper, I think. They got in the car and went to his house and broke in and apparently trashed a whole bunch of stuff, allegedly, and did all of that, and then blew up his car on top of that. And so everybody's coming out of the woodworks with their Diddy stories. I've said this many times on these streams. I've heard more rumors about him than I have of anybody else in Hollywood put together. And so he has been gross and nasty for a very long time. And the sex trafficking, again, let's come back. Homeland Security is the one that raided his house. We're not talking the local police department or even the FBI. Homeland Security. And it was a big operation because they raided both of his houses. And now he is on audio tape telling his son how to get rid of stuff and how to call another person and coerce them in their story and make sure it's rehearsed and a whole bunch of things. And apparently he drug Jay-Z into it, Beyonce's husband, for the uninitiated, into it, and said, did you call him? What did he say? Is he coming over? And that type of thing. So apparently there is some sort of intimation he has something to do with a Diddy dilemma as well. So he wants a pardon from Donald Trump, apparently, allegedly. And Trump said he might consider it.
He just pardoned those people, some reality TV stars the other day for massive fraud or whatever, because the daughter gave him $1 million. So he's like, yeah, sure, pardoned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
they fundraised for Donald Trump back in the day, and they just got a pardon.
It's corruption from the last administration on super steroids.
Mm-hmm.
On super steroids. There is not a thing that this man, if he could sell the toilet from the White House to somebody, he would. like he's,
because we're not talking Diddy and just RICO charges. We're not talking him in wire fraud, sex trafficking, human beings. And some of them were found in his house when they raided. And so that's a thing that you can just write off and sign and say, record cleared. How? I mean, I know how because it's Trump, but how?
So let's start there. Is Trump going to pardon Diddy? I think it was Florence DeBeer. Thank you so much for the super chat. I didn't want to interrupt Johnny while he was giving us all the 411 on Diddy. I fucking can't. I effing can't. What'd you get, Johnny?
There's a couple people that are under consideration, apparently. The Two of Pentacles and the Star. The Star would be your good news that things are about to get better. There is the Five of Swords and Judgment. So once someone is defeated, this is defeat and that's judgment, then something about their situation can improve with the Star. I'll say yes. If he really campaigns for this and spends the money, then yes. Why not? It has to be donated, I guess. Ten of Pentacles.
I get a yes too, because even though he's protecting himself because they've known each other for a long time, they went to parties together and stuff. There's something that he's not accepting from the courts, meaning a conviction. So I think, you know, and I'm getting 8 weeks on the bottom here. If he pays him enough, yes, he's going to give him a pardon. But watch out, because you might still get backstabbed. I want to know if Trump's name's going to come up in the court. I get Trump would rush in and pass judgment, and yeah, he would manipulate this.
You know what's going to happen? Sorry about the dinging. That was my neighbor. If Diddy ends up in prison, he's going to end up just like Epstein.
He knows too much.
Oops.
And he's not the highest on the totem pole either.
Oops, I'm sorry. I just hung myself. You know, like, will he pardon him? I'm getting he's very nervous and worried about it. Sorry, he left my wine opener in the mailbox instead of the front door. That's what I was saying. You get the anchor, the mice, and the man. This would be achievement, stability, persistence. This is corruption, eating something away, thieving, stealing, and then him. So he's nervous and anxious about it, but he has a lifestyle of being very corrupt. But because the mice is in the middle, it's like he's nervous about it, but he's corrupt enough to do it. Which I say, keep going. Keep going. So if we do have another election and it happens to be fair, you're going to have a laundry list of offenses in your impeachment articles that's going to be longer than a CVS receipt. Okay? Like, add corruption to it. You know, like, add selling of fucking pardons for personal gain. Like, you know, the CVS receipts, Johnny, that are like this long? Those are going to be the articles of impeachment.
Look like the Bill of Rights.
You know?
Because Diddy is on videotape committing crimes.
Yeah.
Pardon. Okay.
There's one lady on YouTube, Ashley something or other. I've been watching her videos because they're the most concise without, there's a lot of fake AI videos out there talking about evidence that was presented that isn't true. There's a whole bunch of garbage out there about a Prince tape. No. This lady is sitting in the courtroom. She is a lawyer and going through how they're proving RICO and the intimidation factor and stuff. And I mean, even his stylist, you know, came in and testified.
Everybody's got a story.
So is Trump going to be brought up in the trial?
Oh.
Catherine Fourfeathers. What's her name? Is it Ashley? I can't remember her name.
I want to say no, but this says yes. The reason I want to say no is because I don't see how it would be not appropriate. What's the word? Irrelevant relevant.
Relevant.
I don't see how it would be, but I don't know all of Trump's crimes, apparently.
Ashley Banfield. And I think it's spelled Ashleigh, Ashley. I could be wrong.
But there's justice, which is justice, the court case. There's talking, 8 of Wands, and then there's the Fool. He would be brought up some way, somehow. But I don't think it sways the case one way or the other, but his name is brought up. I don't know in what capacity.
I have to say, his name's already been brought up once because it was brought up that his favorite hotel was a Trump hotel for doing some freak offset and preparing the hotel rooms and stuff. That was one of his favorite hotels to visit.
Because there's some kind of chariot in judgment, like it's in the 10 of Wands. There's a burden with the partnership. And so the chariot is not necessarily a partnership. It can be, but you have to get everything going in the same direction. But it's the ability, or I'm going to say ability, to work with someone. And they can do what they can do to keep their name out of it, but it's still there. So I think his name will be brought up.
I'm getting it'll come up over something else too. Maybe travel together or travel somewhere. Justice also colluding together. Victor, a celebrity involved. Payouts could be part of the trafficking kind of charges, but I get like 2 different things are coming up. Corruption and betrayal. Big changes coming in this case. Big changes. A female that's going to present something. So, I mean, that's part of the RICO is trafficking. Oh, look at that ship there. Could that be trafficking?
Transition. And it could be also somebody in the family. So not just him.
His son.
One of his kids, maybe, because this would be a family member.
His son is involved.
Little Don Jr.?
Don Jr.?
No, Diddy's son.
Oh, well, I mean,
Diddy's son. But Diddy's son is involved too.
Because there was a family member there.
And possibly his mother.
So anyways, I'm going to do this question, and then can you guys hold down the fort while I go feed the little monster here? The next question. He's talking about pardoning the people that were trying to kill Gretchen Whitmer. Remember that whole scheme to kidnap her? And now he's talking about pardoning them. I mean, because why not? He already pardoned all the January 6th offenders, and you cannot convince me that those terrorists are now working for ICE or imitating ICE, because ICE is rolling around in unmarked vehicles and not identifying themselves. So who's to say it's not either human traffickers, kidnappers, or these freaking Nazi peanut butter people rolling around, picking people up and just disappearing them. So is he going to pardon those people? Oh, I know, Katie Mead. He promised a vengeance tour, and I'm sitting here watching grocery prices go up, gas prices go up. Hurricane season starts today, y'all. There's going to be a whole Whitmer getting effing screwed, and he's over there golfing, not giving a shit about anybody.
These kidnappers with the Gretchen Whitmer thing, weren't there state and federal charges?
I don't remember, but he's talking about pardoning them. If they're state, I know that he can.
There's a reason for celebration for them, I will say. Whatever it is they are released from. The Hangman, the Queen of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. Are they currently incarcerated?
I believe so.
Okay, well, they just may be free. Their time is cut short.
Yep, that's what I'm getting to. Those in prison don't finish their term. They get released. It's a betrayal. Gretchen will be very anxious about this. Yeah, government agreement, like a pardon document. Victory on that.
I get those that have been suffering for a long time or are due to suffer for a long time are in negotiations. Or there's meetings and talks about it. So I'm just saying. I mean, but at this point, is anybody surprised? America's fallen apart. People are dying from freaking E. coli from tainted lettuce. You have brain worms over there swimming in sewer water and telling people, don't listen to medical advice from me, but I'm going to make it difficult for you to get COVID. There's doctors that are coming out saying that this new strain of COVID is not as deadly, but a lot more easy to transfer or infect people with. They're making it difficult to get, you know, COVID vaccinations. They're gutting Medicare and Medicaid if the bill passes, you know, so hospitals are going to shut down. I mean, it's just like he's literally destroying the country. People are still waiting for FEMA, and he's out golfing, shitting his pants, and talking nonsense in a chicken suit. You know, like.
Just because I Googled it, there's 2 key players in the kidnapping plot, Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr., that are serving long prison sentences on federal charges. There were over a dozen men brought in on it. 2 that were acquitted at trial. The hung jury on a few of them later found guilty and stuff, but it is federal charges. So
yeah, it's like I got Lily's, Cross, Birds. Long time suffering and negotiations. So, and Birds is also a couple too. So,
I get another question. If you're going to
hold down the fort while I go feed the little monster real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're talking. Trump was talking about pardoning Derek Chauvin, who, you know, was convicted for killing George Floyd, put his knee on his neck. And there's federal and state charges. So, yeah, he could pardon his federal, but there are also state charges that he'd have a hard time. But I could see him pardoning him just because of the symbology behind it. You know, will Trump pardon Derek Chauvin?
I could see him doing it. There's just a problem with it some way, somehow, though. The Emperor and the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Wands as well. There's something around his location, too, that is either going to change or also going to present a problem for him. Don't know how, don't know why, but Knight of Wands has to do with your location. The Queen of Swords, there's also some legal things that are also presenting an issue. Don't know, because again, presidential pen, sign the pardon, be done with it. But I think the problem maybe is, since he has state charges as well, it's more of a symbol than it is a thing that can solve anything. So I don't think so. But again, it's Trump. watch their space, but I don't think so.
I'm getting that too, that there's some kind of problem with this because there are other charges so that he can't defend against. So, you know, the government and, you know, sitting in prison, pardoning him won't get him released. So I'm getting all these no cards. You know, there's too much murkiness there because there's state charges also. He's talking about it. He's definitely talking about it and like, oh, I'd get a lot of attention if I did this, you know, but while I'm in the White House and stuff, and bully Trump, good news, but there's legal problems that he can't get away from, and I think it's because there's state charges.
He had 5 of cups.
I should say.
It's like he's talking about it, and it still baffles me when the cards designate a card to represent a person, and so he's the 5 of cups all
the time for me, all the time. All right, I have to ask this. We have to go back to Katie Miller a second. What does she think about Stephen Miller right now? Now that she's leaving, running off with Elon.
He's old news.
I haven't heard if she's taken the 3 kids with her or not, but what's she thinking about Stephen Miller right now?
Cold oatmeal.
Cold oatmeal.
No sugar, no berries, no butter, no nothing. Cold oatmeal. What does she think about Stephen Miller? Gotta pull an oracle card too. They told me to do so. Oh, that's sweet.
Did you get the vampire bat?
Okay. Read them in combination.
He's not balanced, you think?
Oh. 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 Okay. Oh.
Ooh, her feelings have changed towards him. What are you getting?
So I pulled this for the oracle card. So there's your love, your romance, your soulmates, that type of thing. And I'm like, okay, that's sweet, right? And then I pulled the 10 of swords. And then I'm like, okay, that's not so sweet. Because this is basically the destruction of that, of that thing. And okay. And then there is the 9 of cups. So your wishes and desires is what your burden is. The 10 of wands. This is not a need. The 9 of cups is not a need. The 9 of cups is not a need. It's a want. It's a desire. It's a, ooh, ain't that pretty? It's, you think the grass is greener on the other side type of thing. And so I pulled that. There's the death to the relationship because she's got greedy eyes and she thinks that Elon is a prize. Bearing in mind, everybody else did too. And then they got the short end of the stick. Literally.
For some reason, she thinks Miller is not balanced and can't see that in Musk. Her feelings have changed for him over time. Somehow he's betrayed her. He's manipulated her on something. And that brought about this change of feelings. The connection they had is ended. It's gone. It's kaput. She's moving on quickly here. And in her mind, in what she's looking at, and again, in her mind, because she's running a little loop in her head, she's moving up with Elon. She thinks she's moving up, that he's more successful.
He don't want you, girl. You're going to run right back to Stephen because Elon takes everything for granted and he will just dump you right along with the rest of it.
Elon is a spoiled, rotten kid who goes to the toy store and picks up the new toy just to go smash it on the curb. That's all. It's like he gets pleasure out of breaking things.
Yeah.
Not making things, breaking things.
And when he takes your battery out your back and then can't figure out how to put it back in, then he's done.
Both of them would have her in a concentration camp if they had to.
I mean, she already is. I mean, again, you got to be deaf, dumb, and blind to be dating Stephen Miller, and then marry him, and then have 3 of his disgusting spawn.
Senator Jerry Nadler's office was raided by ICE. They were meeting with people about immigration and stuff, and ICE raided their office, got one of his staffers like in tears, like, what's going on? Scared to death. It's told them, we're pulling you out of here for your safety. Like they're sitting there talking to, rapists and gang members in Jerry Nadler's office.
I'm telling you, when this is all over, abolish ICE. Abolish the shit out of that fucking institution, because it's only new. ICE hasn't been around forever. It was made up by Little Bush. Abolish the shit out of it, because you could see just how illegally they operate. Get rid of them.
That's so, like, targeting a senator and a Democrat at that. I want to know, are they going to target more senators? Are we going to see more ICE raids on Democratic senators' offices, or anyone that's pissed Trump off, like little Rand Paul or anybody?
And what's going to be hard to bring these people to justice is that they got the okay that they don't have to show who they are. So how are you going to ID? How are you going to know who to indict or prosecute?
And this was his office in New York. It wasn't his office in the Capitol. It was his office in New York.
I'm just saying, don't be a pussy like Biden and Merrick Garland. Get rid of the whole fucking thing. Get rid of the whole fucking thing.
No, these people probably have security clearances or anything else, or if they do, they're fake. Like Jared Kushner got a security clearance.
Who's to say they're ICE agents? Who's to say they're not some schmuck they picked up at the gas station or at their local Ku Klux Klan rally?
Anybody is like, yay, Trump. Yeah, that's who they're putting in there. Is this going to happen in more Congress people's offices, Johnny?
Here's the problem. Yes, to answer the question. But I do not feel as though that alone is what they are doing. The King of Swords, there's Donald Trump and his administration, and there's the moon. The moon is plots and schemes, secrets, and that type of thing. There's always something under the surface. So you can disguise it as one thing when you're just trying to intimidate, basically. There is this thing of, I'm going to say the word intimidation. That's what this is for. Mm-hmm. They want to be the bully. They want you to believe the police state is happening. They want you to believe you are the victim, but not victim, but you are the target. That's the better word. And so a whole bunch of stuff is what they should be looking at, because that's the goal.
I get that too. There'll be more actions taken by ICE. This is judgment and trying to create chaos through strength. And getting attention for it. They like the attention they're getting, because they're putting out there all their own edited videos of this kind of stuff, just like they did with San Diego. They put out their own version of videos. So they're trying to make people see things differently. I get they'll be traveling around and targeting more people and trying to entrap more people because they can get away with it. And I get there's at least 2 more Democrats that Trump is going to target.
So, Johnie Ernst, we have reached the level of this dystopian fuckery where they're now echoing Marie Antoinette's "Let Them Eat Cake."
Is she the one that said, when somebody challenged her at a town hall about people are going to die not having Medicare, Medicaid, and she said, well, people die all the time.
She said, no, we're all going to die. Well, we're all going to die.
No.
Like I said, we have reached the level of the dystopian fuckery where they are now echoing Marie Antoinette's "Let Them Eat Cake." let them eat cake. That's 4 words. We're all going to die. She used one more extra word, 5 instead of 4.
Why doesn't she give up her health care then?
Bingo. Give up your health care. Give up your paycheck. Go live on minimum wage and the income of Social Security, and then tell us how happy you are that you're going to be dying.
Mm-hmm. You're going to die anyway. What the hell's wrong with being sick?
That takes a special kind of cojones to look at your constituents and say, I don't give a shit. We're all going to die.
Yeah, as you say, cruelty is the point.
And it's not like you're going to die because you, through neglect, basically, by denying you health care. Oh, you need medicine for your diabetes? Tough shit. We cut it out. So, you know, have fun.
I've seen this video because I wanted to, at one point, hear the other side. This was a long time ago. A person saying how Canada and England are not so great when it came to the healthcare, because everybody was saying that the other industrialized world have healthcare for their citizens because they pay for it, mind you, like we do. And they have it in place and we don't. And then they tried to run down this video about how it's not so great in Canada and the UK and all that. But they never made a point. It was just like 13 minutes of them saying, oh, it's not so great. But how? Why is it not so great? Tell me, that way at least I can feel a little better about not having it and still paying for it.
The biggest excuse that I have heard is because it takes so long. Mind you, my cousin, the one that I got Braxy from, he has dual citizenship. He's Canadian. My Uncle Dave was Canadian. He's Canadian and American, okay? When he needed surgery, I think it was his shoulder or his collarbone or whatever, he went to Canada. Yeah, he had to wait 2 weeks to get surgery, but he didn't pay for shit. Now, the argument is, well, it takes too long. When Matt broke his collarbone and had to get a plate put in, it took 3 weeks. And we paid out the ass to meet the deductible and the freaking premium and everything else, that on top of paying healthcare every month. So you pay for healthcare every single month. If you have, if you're a W-2 earner, it's every 2 weeks. On top of all the shit you have to pay for them to even consider covering you, on top of waiting. Oh, and then also you have to be in network or we're not going to cover you.
That's the other. Oh my God.
Okay, so make it make sense. I told you the story about Peanut when he went to the Netherlands and he lost his backpack with his insulin. He walked into a pharmacy, saw a pharmacist, saw a doctor, got a prescription, and got his insulin. Matt's type 1 diabetic, so he needs long-term and short-term and testers for $25. Do you know how much that would cost you here in the US with no insurance? You would be walking out the door $2,500 if you're lucky. If you're lucky. Just to be able to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and I've seen all the interviews with MAGAs like, well, why is Canada and Europe's healthcare so bad? Well, it just is. Well, you're paying yada yada, and break it down for them. Break down the cost of how much they're paying, how we're getting scammed by health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but that's socialist. So you want then have free healthcare because that's socialist.
Because they also have a doctor's appointment and you don't.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing. It was just brought up too with the Luigi Mangione case. United Healthcare is being sued by the shareholders. Do you know why? Because they didn't deny enough people, so they didn't make enough money. Meanwhile, United Healthcare is #1 in denying claims. And the shareholders are now suing United Healthcare because they didn't deny enough people and we didn't make enough money. But tell me how free healthcare is great. And let me also remind you, healthcare used to not be for profit until fucking Reagan came along. So now there's an incentive to keep us sick and keep us fucking poor. Mm-hmm. To pay some middleman, to pay some other middleman, to pay some other middleman, so that you can pay 20 times as much as anybody else to get bullshit healthcare. But yeah, go ahead and tell us, Ernst, how we're all going to die.
Mm-hmm. Let me pick.
Oh my gosh. So
thank you, Dina.
Oh, thank you, Dina. You know, so what's going to happen to her? Because I'm not so sure.
But she got booed like crazy.
But they're getting to the point where I am convinced, and I think we read on this last week on your channel, that they have gotten assurances, because in a normal everyday place where we had free and fair elections, none of them would dare come out and say this shit to their constituents' face. And now they're just bold about it. Like, yeah, what are you going to do? Vote me out? Good luck. You know?
Because we mentioned that long time ago when Trump first invaded the country or the White House, that McConnell, and they're not that far apart in personality indeed. McConnell is just quiet. He doesn't say that part out loud. They never did until Trump came along, and then blah, 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 blah. Because now they are more confident that they'll keep their seat. Yeah, Cruz did. Jim Jordan did.
They've gerrymandered it. They figured out how to kick people off. They're picking their constituents versus letting constituents pick them.
Like a Bobert. He was supposed to lose and then switch the whole district.
So what's going to happen to Miss Orange? Because that was ballsy. That was some stones of steel right there to sit there and tell your constituents, well, we're all going to die. Oh, I guess she made an apology at a cemetery and it got worse. Then I didn't see that.
Why would you do that? Oh my God.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so she said something about that. I didn't want to tell him there's no tooth fairy.
Then how about this? How about you go and you find you some Democrats who have been shouting it for the past 17 years and do some bipartisanship and get us some health care.
I mean, why not? They get free health care. They get free health care. And then when they retire, they can, depending on how long they serve, they continue to get it. So why should you be afforded the privileges that you deny to the rest of us?
To everybody else.
And on top of, they get to vote themselves raises every so often.
Bet you like that.
While the rest of us are barely getting by being able to put fucking food on the table.
What happens? Nothing. I got every good card you can possibly get. So I guess I can't read it in a bad way just because of personal feelings. But there's the 10 of Pentacles, which would be like donors and things of that nature. The 3 of Pentacles, which is collaboration. Now, mind you, I think this is something later on down the line because unfortunately in this country in the 7-day news cycle, things blow over fast. The 2 of Cups and the Chariot, there's some more deals to be made. The Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Cups, so some pleasant surprises over time. I think she's eating dirt now, but she can use that dirt to plant later. And so I don't think anything long-term is going to destroy her, but here's hoping.
Yeah, I think she's getting money from lobbyists.
Oh, who isn't?
Yeah, because she's sitting pretty financially with abundance here. But what I get is her constituents are going to give her time to mull things over, change her perspective on things, and get a new outlook here. So she's stuck. She can't grow supporters. She's going to be tempered. I get by a man that may take her seat. So I don't think she'll get reelected. Whether that's a Democrat or a Republican, I think somebody's going to take her seat. She's got this agreement with the White House that, oh, this change is good and we're going to grow and blah, 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 blah. It's not taken well. It is not. So
I did a
good luck in the midterms, lady.
Yeah, I think she's up in this next midterms too. I did a double line of 5. I get that this whole thing with healthcare, cross and tree. Tree is the center of the read, which is your health, suffering health, people whose health is suffering, and then healthcare being cut off. Tree to scythe. That whole situation has irreparable damage to her career and her success. Sun, moon, scythe. Success, reputation, career, cut off. There's also stuff here about doctors that are being cut off. Well, if you cut off Medicare, you're shutting down hospitals too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
all
saying?
All over the place, especially in the rural areas.
So there's doctors here that are being cut off. Perhaps ambulances as well. Tree and scythe, or tree and ship and scythe. So healthcare vehicles, healthcare transportation, that's getting cut off. There's a lot of suffering, like an abundance of suffering in the community that she's causing. But ultimately, this is the last word of that spread, which is a rupture, something quickly getting cut off, an accident, a rupture, something dangerous. You're trimming the fat. So I wouldn't be surprised if she gets trimmed, because these are the corners. Her opportunity is cut. Yeah. Her reputation, her career, cut. People that were loyal to her are no longer loyal to her, you know? So, and there's a part of me that's kind of happy about it, because we told you over and over, and the Republicans have told you over and over exactly what they were going to do. Entitlement programs. Well, what do you mean you're taking my Social Security and my Medicare? That's what they're talking about when they say entitlement, meaning we've paid into it and you are entitled to it. Not anymore.
In the world of Johnie Ernst via John McCain.
You know, it's just, I just don't understand how these people think that you can do this to an entire society and not have it collapse.
Because
when
they don't care.
You're raising the taxes on the poorest of the poor by 75%.
They want us to die off, though.
They're safety nets.
They want us to die off. They want, especially the lower income families, to die off.
They're not just going to die off. Before, when they start dying off, then you know what's going to happen? They're going to rebel, and crime is going to go through the fucking roof. The only people that are going to be safe is the multimillionaires and their gated communities.
Maybe. All you have to do is look around the world and see it happen already. When you crush and crush and crush your society to the point to where nothing else can be taken away, that's all they do is rebel.
They storm the gates.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Thank you, Anita. Look at what's his name in Libya, that they stormed the gates, went in there and got him.
Gaddafi. Was it Gaddafi? Is that who you were talking about? Yeah.
Gaddafi, yeah.
And, you know, and it's like, where is your mentality? You're talking about, oh, we have such societal breakdown. We have societal breakdown now because of the insane amount of wealth inequality in this country. And yet somehow it's still not enough for the people that don't need more. So let's keep bleeding that rock dry, and then tell people, suck it up, we're all going to die anyways. Do you think people are going to be happy about having to take their mom or their dad out of a fucking nursing home and then footing that bill because they're no longer covered, on top of what you're already paying for your own health insurance, which is shit?
I forgot who said it, but somebody said you can't have freedom and democracy and capitalism.
No. You
can have authoritarianism and oligarchs, but you can't have freedom, democracy, and capitalism, because
no.
The wealthy are going to pay for everything, and we're left sitting there
for nothing. And Matt was telling us, he was looking at the new tax bill or whatever that they're proposing. If this big beautiful bill comes out, he's like, well, we'll save $2,000. I'm like, we're going to save $2,000 on the backs of people making 15 grand or less. That's people like my sister that's fully disabled. That's people like Johnie. People that are that low on income spend 100% of their fucking paychecks. Why are you going to put the entire fucking burden on that group of people?
I paid more taxes than Donald Trump. That sentence is true. He paid $750 in taxes. I paid $2,300.
Johnny, that could be said about anybody in this fucking chat.
Mm-hmm.
About anybody in this chat. We all pay more taxes than that son of a bitch. And then here's the thing. Here's the thing. Oh, you're a billionaire? Guess what? That private jet, write it off. That $8 million yacht, write that off. Meanwhile, you're a regular person. You can't write off. You're a teacher. You can't write off the fucking supplies you bought for your school. You can't write off if you work from home that, oh, you work from home because you work under a corporation. So you can't write that off. You can't write off the gas you have to put in your car to commute to fucking work. But
you can't write off your dog and cat. Mitt Romney rode off his horse.
Yeah. I mean, it's just make that shit make sense to me. Make it fucking make sense, because it seems like madness. And then to sit there and go, yeah, well, we're all going to die.
Then why do you need anything? No health care, no house, no food, no water. Just live out in the field and just
no groceries, no help, no nothing.
And the groceries that you get are tainted, so you're probably going to die of freaking E. coli because of brain worms. Okay. The water's probably polluted, because let's deregulate that too.
It's polluted.
So polluted water, polluted food, no health care. What makes them think, oh yeah, this is totally going to work? Oh, it's totally going to. What makes you think?
You know, and a part of me used to say is because it's not happening to them. But I remember when there was some senator or congressman or whoever he was who got shot at the baseball game that they were having amongst themselves or other senators or whatever. And then he came out and voted against a gun control bill. Mm-hmm. And it's like, even if it does happen to them, the switch has not flipped for a lot of them because it does not hurt them. They can afford $16 eggs. You can't, they can't. And so it doesn't matter. They don't need to bring the prices of groceries down. Your kid is sick, theirs not. So what's the big deal? Their kid doesn't need a free lunch at school. Yours does.
And they were saying in the chat, I forgot, you can now write off your tanning beds and your silencers for your guns. And I was like, I read that and I was like, I am convinced, Johnny, I am convinced that Tucker Carlson had something to do with that day. Because remember when he was talking about tanning your balls to be more masculine? That's the only reason why I can think of that you can write off a fucking tanning bed now.
I mean, there were a whole bunch of judges that came out over the weekend that have had the rise in death threats that they're getting is through the roof just since April. And some of them are Trump appointed. Some of them are appointed by Bush, Biden, Obama, whoever. But some of them are Trump appointed, and they're still getting death threats because they're ruling against Trump, and it's pissing them off.
Well, this is America's Tower moment. There it is right there. So we just got to wait for it to crumble. That's all. I mean, it's not pretty. It's not even pretty to say, but it is what it is. Sometimes you cannot help when something is built upon a faulty foundation. This is a lovely country. I really don't want to live anywhere else, but we were not built upon fairness and equality here in this country.
Nope.
And so when we get to the top, it's all going to come crumbling down and the whole world gets to see. Now, the good thing about it is once you have learned this lesson, you build something better. Now, if you repeat the process, then the process repeats. And so take this as a lesson. Yes, we get to pay for it when somebody else did it, but that's mankind.
We're the melting pot of the world.
Let me say this louder for the people in the back. If you are of the camp of we need to stop infighting in the Democratic Party and get together, do not come into my comments or my post and be miserable and what? Because if you're of that mentality, you're saying the Democratic Party is totally fine and don't complain about anything. Do not complain about anything, because so far their message has been there's nothing we can do.
There's nothing we can do.
Out of his own fucking mouth, there's nothing we can do.
Well, there's a few exceptions to that. You know, the Bernie AOC tour. There's a few exceptions to that, but
Yep. But I'm tired of this. We can't be infighting. Look at where we are and what leadership has done to get us here. And yet they're still doubling down. Right now, I'm going to read on. I want us to read on Jasmine Crockett. The reason that bill passed was because Nancy Pelosi, the fucking bitch, decided to whip up votes to strong arm and get AOC out of there. And they elected a geriatric person who she knew had cancer. And what happened? He died. He died. Of what? Cancer. It's almost like you shouldn't have fucking picked him to begin with. And then, the bill passed. Well, so is your strategy to let this shit happen so you can have plausible deniability? Well, there's nothing we could do. Then why the fuck did you appoint that person knowing he was terminally ill? And now they're trying to do the same thing to Jasmine Crockett when she is the second in line to the leadership position. And they're trying to, no, let's give it to this other 70-something-year-old white man. And then they wonder, well, why is the Democratic Party's rating so low? Why is it so low? Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Why does nothing change? Because no one changes. And when David Hogg said we need more progressive, more younger energy in the Democratic Party, then suddenly he's the bad guy. He's overstepping his bounds. You're too good. You're too big for your britches.
Yeah, get out of here. Shut up with that stuff. Same thing they try to do to AOC. Same thing they did to Bernie Sanders. Same thing they're trying to do to Jasmine Crockett, because the establishment, the corporate Democrats. Look at Cory Booker, and Johnie knows this better than anybody. I cannot stand Cory Booker.
I can't either.
I cannot stand that motherfucker. I will sit here and applaud him for the 25-hour filibuster that he did.
What's next?
So he didn't shit himself for 25 hours or piss himself, but he shit himself with one vote to let Jared Kushner's dad become the ambassador because he made a contribution to his campaign. So don't sit here and point the finger at, the Republicans are and not say anything about your own party.
That's the definition of echo chamber there.
Yeah. So is Jasmine Crockett going to get that leadership position?
On her committee.
And that's not the only time Booker has fucked up, y'all. He is corporate as corporate gets. Everybody used to hate Betsy DeVos. Nobody really looked too deeply into see Booker and Betsy DeVos's family's little relationship, because he was all for charter schools.
Oh, hello, Reverie. She startled me.
So will Jasmine Crockett get the leadership position? Jasmine Crockett and AOC are two of our most effective speakers in the entire party, and they have the energy right now. And what's the establishment? What's the party doing to them?
And mind you, AOC has proven to be effective, period. Remember when you had all of the problems in Texas, and she's in New York, and then raised all that money for Texas. Like, this is a person who has reached across the aisle. This is a person who's willing to work to get the work.
Hold on. Moskowitz, watch him, because he was one of the ones that voted to censure Al Green. And I failed to say that last time. Oh, we need to stick together. Let me remind you, 10 Democrats voted with Republicans to censure Al Green. 10, not one hand, but 2. And Moskowitz was one of them.
But we're supposed to stick together.
But we're supposed to stick together. When Al Green was the only one that had balls to go up there and tell that man, do not touch our Medicare. You do not have. He was standing up for all of us. And us Democrats turn around, 10 of us, 10 from our party turned around and censured him. So I don't want to hear about this. No more infighting. Watch what they do, not what they say.
I think she doesn't get it till midterms. I don't know why. I'm getting a conflicting thing here. Like wanting change in the government in secret, yes, she would get it. They would offer it to her. But for right now, I get she would lose on the committee. Somebody's casting judgment on her, and it's a betrayal. But I think post-election that she would come charging in, and that would change, that she would get it then, post-midterms.
I'm getting conflicting things too. The Seven of Pentacles and the Emperor. There's a man, but it's like an old friend of someone with the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups. This is your old friend, nostalgia. And then there's that male energy with the Emperor, the Devil, and the King of Swords. It is manipulated. But there is the House, Four of Wands, and then the Burden. So something changes later on for whatever reason. There's an Eight of Cups to where that person makes a decision to walk away. So we'll see.
I get no. She's not part of there's an agreement or a partnership that's being eaten away at, dwindling away. And there's something here about a bill. A bill results something, but no, this is reading like a no. Like there's a partnership, a resolution, a promise, a commitment, something that's being taken away and eaten away at. And there's a bill here. So it's almost like the deal's already been made. And you ain't in it. And you ain't in it.
If she's good at manifesting, tell her to manifest it. It can change. It can change a lot of things.
I'm just saying. Well, you know what? We got 4 minutes, and I don't want to end on an angry note. And I'm sorry that I got angry and upset and a little went off a little bit. But I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated. I share in everybody's frustration, and it makes me feel like I'm fucking mental when we're screaming for change and the party's saying, no, everything is fine. Chuck Schumer's going to write a very strongly worded letter. Don't worry. So.
Because I keep my equivalence is we're in the boat, they're steering, but they're going straight into the storm, and we're like, no, go this way. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, we've been going this way for 50 years. This is the way we're going to keep going. And then all of us are the bad guys for keep shouting it out. So yes, let's not end on a negative.
Yeah, let's not end on a negative. So I'm gonna go petty.
Make sure to get out there, check out nokings.org to find out where protests are around you for June 14th, No King's Day. That happens to be Trump's birthday. Make it big and proud. I think I'm going to also carry a sign like I saw that little kid, 6'3", 239 pounds.
That's funny.
So, Anonymous, which I have taken with a grain of salt because they at least in the last few years, the last, I want to say decade or so, they've been saying a lot, but not really producing much. And they're not what they used to be. Well, they just recently came out with that one thing that showed all of the flights for the airplanes and the immigrants and the logs and everything that the company was using and all that stuff to deport people illegally. So they have recently come out with a video saying that they were going to release something. I don't know when that video was taken, so I don't know if it's June or July.
I think they said June.
But
I'm like you. It's like I'll believe it when I see it.
and if it's something we don't already know, like it has to blow my socks off. Like, no disrespect to Anonymous, it's just they're not what they used to be, and which is understandable with cybersecurity the way that it is nowadays. Unless you're lucky enough to access a signal chat, then you don't really know. So can we look at what they're going to be releasing?
Toodle Oops is thanking me for sharing my fur babies because they keep her calm. I have no choice in this. These are cats. You have no choice. They share themselves.
That is not your house. It is their house. And you just
I am just here to be the housekeeper. So if you have a cat, you totally understand. I am not choosing to share them. They are choosing to share themselves.
I watched a panda eating bamboo for like 30 minutes today.
You know what I just saw now that you're speaking about pandas? It took me a minute. I had to watch the video like 3 times. And I was like, what the hell is this? It was on TikTok. And all I could see was like something that was panda shaped, but I couldn't figure out what it was doing. Johnie, that panda was straight up on his hands, okay, doing a handstand up against a wall. He was pissing on it. Like he was pissing on the wall.
That's so weird.
What is he, Elon Musk?
I was like, what is it? Like I'm sitting there looking at the video and I could see the black and white. So I was like, well, it's panda, but I couldn't figure out what it was doing. And then
did you see they're calling Trump's Qatar plane Panda Express now because Trump always chickens out? He's now Panda Express.
Jenny, don't ruin Panda Express for me, man. Don't ruin it.
I had it 3 days ago. It was fantastic.
Is Panda Express. And I always get the half and half. So half chow mein, half of the what is it? The not the white rice, but the other rice, and then orange chicken. That's all I ever get at Panda Express.
Mine is worse because it's right across the street too.
No, mine I have to go like outside of my 1 mile radius to go get it, but
I'll get my throat.
So what is Anonymous going to release?
Something about women and children and a whole lot of money.
Is this like the trafficking thing, or are we looking at the deportations?
I think maybe more deport because I don't really see a moving.
It's a kind of a combination. Is what I'm getting.
It's a lot of money too.
It's definitely involving children. You know, there's the government, something like going in quick, children stealing, creating chaos around this, using force, and then, oh look, let's send them over here, looking at the options of what to do with them. Mothers and fathers like trying to find where they're at, and yeah, nefarious stuff going on here. I would say it's a combination.
Did you finish your reading, Johnie?
Yeah, women, children, a whole lot of money.
There's a contract that this man is involved with, an agreement that's fraudulent and manipulative. He's in agreement with this person here. That's a bad relationship, and there's your huge sources of financing. There's also an agreement. We could also be looking at somebody like an Elon Musk. There's a partnership here that's turbulent at the moment. This person has a lot of money, resources, and finances, and they were involved in manipulation and fraud. Okay. An ally or a friend to this person. New fraud, new manipulation. This person has a child, or they're a younger friend. This person here is in danger, or this person is a target. There's also something here about an accident that was confusing and was manipulated.
Like a Butler, PA kind of accident.
It's an accident. Okay, the scythe is kind of like your tower. Accidents, ruptures, sudden, quick violence.
Okay.
It happens quickly. It's very, very fast. There's a lot of problems and doubt around it with the clouds. And then there was manipulation and suspicion around that entire thing. The accident here, there was success and energy. And then this person here, but it was a younger person. See? And this person was targeted, and that's how they resolved it.
That's interesting because I was watching Professional Aquarium and Cosmic Owl Astrology. They get together, once a week. And they were talking about in the astrology in June, something's coming up that's a revisit of that attempt in Butler, PA.
About Butler?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because this is looking like it was an agreement. There was an agreement made, ring, man, fox. There was an agreement with this man to do something sneaky, manipulative, and cunning. But when you look back at the ring, there's an accident or a target. And see, this way, an agreement with this man that was manipulative. He was using it to manipulate. And I don't know if you can see that. Manipulate and defraud. But when you look at back here, when you follow it back here, this is a weapon, something sharp, something sudden, an accident, a younger person, and then the solution here. That relationship is problematic, but this person here was a supporter. See that? Because he knights here. So we might be hearing something about Butler, PA. If I look at this as well, what's weird to echo what Johnie was saying, Johnie and Jenny, children and a lot of money, some sort of a contract, financial reward. There's something here too, quite possibly around Elon Musk and what he's doing to how he's manipulated resources and finance and power through energy. But we'll see. And that's weird, that Cosmic Owl Astrology. I watch them, but sometimes the stuff goes over my head because it's too
I can't remember what the alignment was, but they were talking about this is like similar to what happened when the Butler, PA, like it's a revisit.
And what's weird is I don't have the rally card here, which would be the garden. So that
maybe you don't need it because maybe it's not talking about an attempt of anything, but more of an agreement of something.
Which, Johnie, that had WWE McMahon written all over it.
Yes,
all over it. And then somehow he grew back cartilage like fucking SpongeBob. Like, I mean,
he needs to tell Elon how to grow that back and heal yourself.
I'm telling you. So anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Now, public service announcement: do not leave here and keep politics in your energy and your system. Go watch something funny. Go listen to a song. Go take a walk. If it's still light here, but if it's dark, I mean, be common sense now. But go get that out of your energy. Go do something you like to do.
That's why I've unplugged. I just, like I said, my first thing that I go to is raging pissed. And then eventually everything kind of, but and
well, I tried to stay plugged in as soon as I heard Elon was taking Stephen Miller's wife and he had a black eye. That caught my attention. I had to plug in a little bit because it was hysterical. We're on Johnny's channel next week.
We're on Johnny's channel next week. For those of you that are not trusting of food sources at the moment and have limited space or don't have a backyard or live in an apartment, and you're interested in growing your own food, even if it's vegetables and whatever, look into doing some container gardening. Also, I know that a lot of you are boycotting Amazon right now. Amazon is having a sale on hydroponic systems, so you don't even need dirt for that or a window. So, you know, and gardening is fun.
And mind you, Harvard has free courses. So,
and Harvard has free courses. So go take some courses on divination or whatever you want.
Grow some catnip for your cats while you're out there. Keep them happy too.
Yep. Make sure to take care of yourself because that's important. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much to everybody who super chatted and just you guys hanging out. So we will see you next week on this lovely gentleman's channel.
That guy right there.
The bejeweled Johnny.
He's all beaded and bedazzled.
With or without the cats if they decide to share themselves.
With or without whiny Braxy, depending on what kind of mood she's going to be in next Sunday. I'm telling you. Having teenagers.
Care Bears is the way to go.
Bye, everybody. Have a great evening. Good night.
A rose whispering to me.